3, 2, 1. Welcome, guys, to episode 5 of the podcast. We did it. We made it. Made it this far. Now we have to keep going. So we have some cool ideas.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Sorry. We have some cool ideas for the end of the podcast as well, too. And this week, we have our first 2 topic submissions from 2 of the patrons. So this should be exciting.
Not our first 2. They've submitted topics before.
Questions, not topics, though.
Oh.
Yeah. Before it was questions, these are actual topics. If you guys are like, what's the difference between questions and topics? Well, questions are like simple, like 1-second answer kind of things. And topics would be like what we talk about for, 5 to 10, 20 minutes each. Depending on how.
Oh, so I didn't need to come up with 3 topics today?
Well, I did 3 anyways, just in case we powerhouse through them. Mm-hmm. Like last week, we actually... So it was funny, the first podcast we did was like an hour and 15 minutes. And then literally the last one was only 50 minutes. But we want to get them down to like half an hour.
Yeah.
That's like our goal is half an hour. Like, okay, half an hour. And then I'm like, oh my God, we have so much to upload.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because like that's the ideal situation. But hope you guys are enjoying it, though.
We also don't edit anything out.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so.
No, I don't. But yeah, so first few things. This week we have topic submissions from Jenny, and we have one from Trixie as well too. So I'll be reading the Jenny one, and Rachel will be reading the Trixie one. A few of the
things. Do we
want
to start with those?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that we had to like talk about or like that. Oh, we reached 40 listens on our podcast though.
There you go.
Very happy about that. 40 listens.
On our last episode or like total?
No, just total. Like it doesn't tell you like the full.
It's about 10 listens per episode, I suppose.
Which is pretty good if you ask me. I think that's pretty. I'm like, oh, people are listening. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. So, and it's really cool because like now we're on pretty much every podcast platform out there.
Yeah.
And we just got added recently to Apple Podcast, and I guess Apple Podcast like that's where a lot of the listens came from. I was like, oh, really? I thought more people would be interested in Spotify, but I guess Apple Podcast is better. At the very end of this episode, we're going to add a segment of the Saber segment. So stay tuned for that spicy stuff. Wink, wink.
Right now she's taking a nap on my lap. I'm petting her soft ears.
Yeah, little bunny ears. Okay, so the first topic that we have, this is from Jenny. We're going to start with these ones first.
Okay.
Are cruises. So I guess the question was not just cruises, like I'm just doing it like this, but cruises, and which one would you want to go on? So would you want to go on a cruise, and if so, which one would you want to go on? And if you don't like a cruise, which one would you want to go on if you could? That's not the actual question. I'm making it the question.
It didn't need to be explained.
Okay.
I understood.
Just in case,
from
I don't
the beginning. I've never been on a cruise. We've talked about my family kind of going on a cruise together, but we've never done it. I don't know that I really want to go on a cruise because I'm always worried, like I get motion sickness and I'm worried I would just feel sick the entire time on a boat because I've been on boats before and I always feel like queasy.
Yeah.
So, but I know that people say like, oh, you don't feel it, the boat's so big, but I don't know. What if you get stuck in a storm or something? Like, that would suck because you can't go anywhere. You're just stuck there.
Yeah.
But that aside, if that wasn't an issue, I would probably want to go on, I don't know, like your traditional probably Caribbean cruise, like somewhere warm where you're stopping at like different islands and.
That'd be kind of
cool.
Because
I mean the Alaskan cruises and stuff, they look pretty, but like I don't know, I don't want to be out in the cold if I'm going to be on a cruise. I want to be able to like swim on the boat and like, go off on islands and.
I heard the Alaskan cruise is like amazing. I've knew a few people that have went to it.
Or like a European cruise, like one that goes around like that, like Italy and stuff like that would be something like that.
Did you see like half of Italy's like basically gone in water now?
Yeah, all of Venice is underwater.
I could not believe the pictures that I saw.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Well, Venice has been sinking.
No, I know.
For a long time.
But now they're saying that
it's like really bad.
I read some stuff saying that like this is basically how it's going to be for a very long time.
Well, yeah, it's global warming.
No,
that's going to be like all of the coastal cities, like California,
yeah,
the East Coast. Everything's going to like New York. Like eventually, it's going to start flooding.
That's sad. Yeah.
I know.
But for me, for cruises, I've always wanted to go on the Disney cruise. Yeah, Disney cruise. Disney cruise. That should be in their next commercial. But seriously though, my friend went on the Disney cruise. It was very expensive, first of all.
Yes, it is.
But he said like it was very cool. Everything was themed. And he said like it was just probably one of the best cruises he's been on. I've never been on a cruise before. Would I go on one? I think so. It's just Rachel and I have like super bad anxiety about like everything. We're like, oh no, we're gonna die drinking coffee, like that sort of thing. You know what I mean? But it's like we know that we're not going to, so I can feel like if I was on a cruise, I'd be like, I'm stuck. I can't get off. I can't get out of here. I can't get out of here.
I hate that. That's what I don't like about flying too.
Me too.
Is that like
your feet
you're
are
stuck
on the ground.
and you cannot
pull over.
Like if you're freaking, too bad. You're on the plane.
So yeah, that's why I mentioned to Rachel numerous times. We're going to Florida, and I said, why don't we drive? But she does not want to drive. So either way,
it's a waste of time.
It's a lose-lose either way. We either fly, be anxious, or drive and be anxious.
Yeah.
But no, the cruise. I think we would get over it because you're like I said, it's so big that you don't really realize how big it is until you get on it. You're like, oh wow, this is like a shopping mall worth of walking. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
So I think that's like what you gotta realize. But for me, I would love to go on a cruise. Alaskan cruise would be really cool. Somewhere that I could see like orcas in the wild would be really cool. Don't laugh at me now. Or having, like I said, Disney cruise would be really, really cool. I would really like to go on.
I've also seen those like videos of people on cruises where like a wave hits them and like all the tables are just like whoosh, like flying all over the place and like what?
I heard you hit your ring off the chair.
It's fine.
I don't know.
It hit the side, Trev.
All right.
Oh my god.
Rachel does this thing where every time she hits her wedding ring, I'm like.
Meanwhile, Travis takes his ring off and like throws it across the counter.
No, I don't.
When he goes to go take like a shower, you're like, you just like slam it on the table.
No, I don't. But so every time she does, I look at it, and I'm like, and I like inspect it like really thoroughly.
It's fine.
She's like, it's a diamond.
It's a
fine.
diamond. It literally cannot chip by hitting aluminum, whatever this is.
Aluminum? I don't know. Maybe.
Anyways, those videos of people who like hit waves and like all the tables are flying everywhere, or like they
that's just propaganda.
or like you hear about cruises where people like get really sick because like one person gets sick and then everyone touches everything and then everyone's really sick.
Propaganda.
It freaks me out.
It's all propaganda.
It's not.
It's actual like resorts that want to put down cruises, so they put out that propaganda.
It's not true.
No, I know it's true. I mean, that's the thing for me too. Is like you're out at sea, and they do have like obviously it's a lot more. It's not like it's a Titanic where they're just gonna sink and nobody's gonna know.
There was that one that did sink off the coast of Greece though.
But it's
because they went into too shallow water.
Yeah, it got
and then
stuck
people,
though.
Like it like went sideways and people had to like swim to shore.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone died or not, but people were hurt.
Yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, so I mean, I think for me, like I would go on a cruise. I think I'd be very anxious on the cruise until like I realize, like, because for me, I don't really like I'll drink and stuff, but I don't really like I'm not gonna get like super drunk like on a cruise. Or
That's the other thing. I think that's half the point is that like you're supposed to just like drink a whole bunch. And
that's
eat.
exactly.
And I don't drink at all.
That's how resorts are though, right?
Yeah, but resorts are like I don't know. I just want that's not on the waters like in a boat, so I want to do that.
Okay, all right.
And I like food.
So basically a cruise, but on water. So a land cruise is what you want to go.
Well, a cruise is basically a water resort.
So you want to go on a cruise that
I want to go on a regular resort.
Okay.
On the land.
All right. So land cruises is what Rachel likes.
No.
Land.
Cruises are water resorts.
True. All right. Well, what did Trixie ask?
Okay. Trixie said, and I didn't write down the whole question, but essentially, what is your favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? Nice. So, do you want me to start?
Yeah.
So, my favorite holiday, like, I definitely think, there's probably like everybody too. I definitely think Christmas is a really good holiday. I think it'd be cool if like they switched every year. It switched though, so like Christmas was like in summer. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be cool? I was just thinking about that right now.
But the whole thing of Christmas is that it's like
I know,
snowy, Christmassy. Like think of all the songs, the Christmas songs.
No,
it's
I
like
know.
that warm, like fire.
But I just thought about that
tree.
right now though. Like that would be pretty cool if like it was like, oh, this year Christmas is actually in August, and you're like, what? No way. You know.
I don't think I'm not at all on the same page as you.
I just thought about that.
What? No way.
I just thought.
Is it a surprise? You never know.
Yeah. No.
It's just like the government's just like, surprise! Here's the new date this year.
I think that would be really cool. See, if the government started doing like random stuff like that, it would, because you always have those months.
I don't think that would be cool.
Well, if you think about it, Christmas, in my opinion, is like I love Christmas and stuff, but I think a lot of it is like oh, it's gloomy, it's snowy. Hey, we have Christmas.
So then if it's in
We have
summer,
Christmas to look forward to.
then you have nothing to look
Well, no,
forward to.
because you
in the
always
winter.
have, like, if you think about it, you always have, like, you know, the end of March or in April, it's always, like, still snowy, it's still gloomy, and, like, a lot of people are still like, ugh. But, like, if it was at the starting of Christmas and it was, like, Christmas,
I don't
summer.
know what you're saying.
Anyways, so my favorite...
That was not the question at all.
My favorite holiday is 100% Christmas. I don't really care too much about Halloween. I think it's cool, but I don't dress up that much for it. I think a lot of people have the idea that they're gonna like dress up and like they're gonna like make the biggest costumes ever, but that's not for me. I can't really make good costumes. Like we know that for the D&D costume that I made. Mm-hmm. And like Easter's kind of just there, and like I don't know. I don't really like
Easter's just there.
Well, you know what I mean. Like I'm just trying to think of some quick holidays that you can think of. Easter, Thanksgiving. Halloween,
Labor Day,
Halloween, and Christmas. Thanksgiving's good too. I mean, I think it's like I've never really seen an American Thanksgiving before, so I can't really be like, oh my god, like is it because I know some people say things like Thanksgiving is more important to them than Christmas because it's more people are like willing to get together on Thanksgiving than they are for Christmas. I'm like for like in Canada, like it's just kind of like, oh, we're having turkey, sounds good, let's do it, and then like you know what I mean. So I've never seen. I love to hear about like you know, the difference between the two, like in America, but I don't know if it's like because I obviously like football.
I don't think it's any different.
No, yeah,
people watch football here in Canada too.
I just think I always like feel like the American Thanksgiving is way bigger than Canada. That's just my opinion. But I definitely really like Christmas. I think it's cool. Plus, like I love getting surprises. Surprises are like my number one favorite thing. But I'm like, no way, I got that.
You like presents, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So like this one year, I remember Rachel got me a stream deck for the stream. And it's basically like a little...
What was that?
It was a hiccup. And there's like this little box that basically you press like little buttons on. And it switches the overlay on your streams. So you could have like where it says like, you know, one overlay and then another one. So like there's just different things that can show up and stuff. And at first I was like, oh, cool. I remember that. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, I had no idea what it was. Mm-hmm. And then after when I started using it, I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I had no idea that I was getting it. But like, it was just probably one of the coolest things I've ever gotten.
Pretty much everything cool that you have, like, all like the techie things that you have, I've almost bought all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Your chair, not your new one you have now, but your original chair.
Right.
Stream deck, green screen.
Yeah.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Now your logo.
Yeah. I know.
So presents
I just like getting things like that's why like gift cards are kind of not for me. Like people will get me gift cards, I'm like that's cool, you know, like thank you. But I like presents and I like not knowing what they are. Like even if it's something like handmade, I'm like no way, that's so cool. I can't believe that. You know what I mean? That's like my favorite thing. So, and yeah, that's why like. But yeah, anyways, you're up. I don't want to take over too much of the time.
This podcast is like a look inside your brain, sort of.
This is Travis hasn't had.
It's so chaotic.
Travis hasn't woken up yet. I got up like.
No, this is you know even when you're fully awake.
Yeah.
It's just chaos inside your brain.
I agree. Well,
just like there's no like connection between thoughts. It just jumps wildly from one to another.
The question was, which is your favorite holiday? I wish that there was 2 Christmases.
That they would just randomly announce what month Christmas would be in.
I'm just saying, this is my opinion.
But no, we got it.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
When a government decides to do this and everyone's like, this is such a great idea, it would make everybody so happy.
I don't think so, though. I really like
Imagine the government started doing random stuff instead of just taxes all the time. They're like, guess what, this year we have balloon parties.
No, because people need to... No, I want it needs to be the same time every year.
I think that it's cool. Like, if I ran the government, I would do things differently.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be a disaster.
Pizza night. Pizza every Friday.
Terrible.
Yeah, your taxes are going to pizza night. All right, what's your favorite holiday?
Yeah, probably Christmas, but just for the sake of throwing another one out there, maybe like Canada Day, just because I love like the warm summer like day off. I know like this past Canada Day, didn't we just like go swimming and like,
which was good.
Like it's just like a nice like barbecue. Like usually like barbecue, like I don't know, like 4th of July in the U.S. Like you're just hanging out and.
Go on.
Do it. Open it. Anyway, you're just hanging out and like, you know, it's all sunny and nice outside and
Yeah.
That's fun. Like, because Christmas is good, but it's always just like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
cold and
we need
whatever.
more.
But no, but that's good. What's good about Christmas is that it like livens up a very cold and dreary
What if
day.
they did like okay? What if they did a new holiday which is called Summer Christmas or just Summer's Giving?
You know that people do that on their own, right?
We should just do
Christmas
that.
in July.
I think that. Oh yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. That's a thing, right?
People, it's just a thing people do on their own.
Because I think it's like if you split it up, if when we have kids, we could be like, hey, I know Christmas is great, but why don't we split it up? You have Christmas, and you also have Christmas in summertime too.
There's a lot of present buying.
No, you do split it up. So instead of buying them 10 presents at Christmas, you buy them 5 and go, hey, you gotta wait till summertime.
I guess it depends when their birthday is.
That's a really good idea. Think of this and get back to me, everybody.
All right, write that down.
Yeah, if the government's listening and you want to come up with this holiday, you don't have to use my name in there, but just put me in the credits somewhere down there.
Okay.
So you think that you like Canada Day?
Sure. Yeah. Let's say that.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to say Christmas. We already talked about how Christmas is good.
Right. And today I'm once again drinking Sand Panel and Green now, and Rachel's drinking something.
Tea. Earl Grey tea.
All right. So my question is, and I already know your answer to one of these, but not all of these. So, do you think aliens exist? Don't answer yet. And do you think that they're scary or nice? And do you also think ghosts and demons and like spirits exist?
There's a lot of questions in one.
And are they nice? No, sure. And are they friends? And do they want to have double Christmas?
Oh my god. Okay. Yes, I think aliens exist, 100%. I don't think that it's possible that we're the only intelligent life forms in the entire universe, which we haven't even explored the extent of. It's so massive.
How do you even know there's a universe? Because you've never been there.
Oh my god. Because I believe in science. And so I believe that there's no way that our planet is the only planet that's supported a life form that's intelligent.
No, I know.
Do I believe that they're like green men in suits? Like, I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what they look like or like what their intelligence level is? Do I think they like fly super like high-tech spaceships? Who knows? There's probably all different kinds. Like, they're just another form of a being.
Yeah.
And maybe they're like a ball of gas, or maybe they're like, fleshy like me and you. Who knows?
Yeah.
But 100%, yeah.
There's like
and I think that they've probably visited this earth at some point. So I don't necessarily think that they're like, maybe there are bad ones, maybe they're good ones, maybe they're just explorers like we are.
There's also like these like conspiracies like about like all these different things, and it's pretty interesting. Like I remember like reading it a little bit in college because I was like bored one day, and there's like the green aliens, and then there's like the gray aliens, and like the green aliens or something like that. I don't might have it mixed up, but some of the aliens are like good, and I think there's the green aliens are good, and they're basically like invisible, and they just like watch us and make sure that we're doing things right. And then the gray aliens are like here to try to like destroy us and stuff. And apparently like people believe that like they're invisible and they're like watching us and they're like actually with us right now. And then other people believe that they'll only show up when we most need the help, kind of thing. So a lot of people believe, obviously, like everyone knows, like the whole like pyramids and like all that stuff. And like some people believe that when the world's at its like peak where like it needs help from like another civilization, that's when the aliens will come and like try to help us out.
Hopefully, because we could sure use them right now.
Yeah, seriously.
We're destroying the planet. Climate change is gonna,
yeah,
kill all of us. So
but
if they want to come down and help us out, that would be great.
I think it's like it's hard to believe something. Like people always say things, well, you can't believe it until you see it. And like I think I'm kind of in that category where like if I don't see it, I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's like legit, which is weird because like you always have that idea of like you only really see what's in front of you. Like and like remember me and Nick having this conversation, a friend of ours, and it was like when you're walking, it's like your brain is like playing you like a movie, and like you're like, okay, now I can actually go and like go to Australia. And when I go to Australia, is it like my brain making like what I see?
I do not understand what you're saying. You're describing this so...
Okay, what I'm saying is that like, yes, people show me the pictures of the moon, but do I know the moon exists if I have never been to the moon, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my like take on it. It's like I believe in all this stuff. I know that it exists, but it's hard for me to like
Yeah, but you have a hard time even like like when we were painting this room, I was like, it's gonna be white, and you're like, I can't picture it. Like you're not like you're not able to like visually picture certain things. I feel like
that's true.
But like I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's you can never know.
You might be blocking the microphone.
You can never know 100% if things are real or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just have to go with like all the evidence and make your own decision.
I know. That's why, like, I think obviously all of that exists, and I'm sure, like, there's absolutely no way. Like, you know, I'm sure the universe is, like, big, gigantic, all that stuff, but you know, I don't, will anything ever come and reach us? I don't know. It's hard to kind of understand that, okay, if we have the technology that we do, what resources does, like, another planet have? Why couldn't they come and see us by now? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe they did, though.
That's what I'm saying. So
a lot of people believe that humans are actually just an experiment.
Yeah, exactly.
That the aliens just like planted us here and they were like,
let's see how long they live.
Let's see how they do.
Yeah.
You know?
So
they might be watching us all the time.
The other thing to think about like this as well too is, sure, we're seeing, you know, humans have only been here for like X many years, right? But then the you know, planet's like so many, you know, millions of years old. So it's like, how many times have we already been through this process? You know what I mean? We could have damage the earth and the earth resets itself, like, you know what I mean, and then it goes back and then, you know, we're back again. Like it's just
yeah, but I don't think so because they have a lot of like ways to show like how old the earth actually is.
I know I'm just saying, like, I think we're veering off this aliens thing, like, well, we're kind of still on the topic, I guess, but I think that like
if you say dinosaurs at any point right now, this podcast is over.
Rachel was like, if you can't, your topics can't involve dinosaurs or
Netflix. Because that's all you talk about every time.
I'm sorry, dinosaurs are cool stuff.
So do not mention.
Wait till you guys see my megalodon tooth that Rachel's getting me, aka raptor claw.
I haven't. I'm not.
No.
That has not happened.
For Christmas this year, that's what I want. So you can either get it for this Christmas or you can get it for summer Christmas. Let me know.
We're not having summer Christmas.
We're having summer Christmas. But yeah, I think definitely they are out there. I think it'd be kind of cool to, you know, be here to see it if it is a thing. But as for ghosts though, and like ghost demons and spirits.
Answer first.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by like demons and spirits.
So people
like the Bible concept of like a demon. Like what do you mean?
So basically, there's ghosts or in spirits. Like ghosts are basically just like, okay, I
know what it goes.
Yeah,
I know
seeing things.
But I mean,
demons
like,
are like
I don't know.
Demons can like possess stuff and blah 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 blah.
I don't know. I believe that there is some unexplainable sometime phenomenons, and like I have not personally experienced it, but I know many people who like swear, like 100% they have experienced or seen like a ghost or something like that.
Yeah.
And there are people who like, they're not like, I trust their word, you know, like they're not like outlandish or like, you know.
I don't know.
They don't make things up just for fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever experienced I've never experienced anything like that.
I've experienced weird just like weird coincidences, you know, where you can't really explain, like maybe you'll have like a really weird deja vu where you're like that's kind of a weird thing, or like you think something and then someone calls you and they're thinking the same thing, or like it's almost like a premonition kind of situation, which is kind of unexplainable. But I've never seen like a ghost.
The thing that scares me the most is like the twin situation, like the twin factor, where like if you have a twin and the whole thing is like if you're thinking something, chances are they're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, there's so many studies that show that twins who were separated at birth end up living really close to each other, having the same careers.
Yeah.
But that all has to do probably with like genetics and like predisposition.
But it's just like I'm not saying that has to do with ghosts or anything.
But like where twins hurt and the other one can feel it.
Yeah. Like I know twins, and like they say that all the time. They're like, it's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah. I don't know. Like my mom swears to have seen a ghost. My uncle has, like when he was a child, said all the things, and like I just know people who have had very unexplainable kind of experiences.
One of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me was at the work that I'm at right now. My boss passed away, and there was a safe, and we had to get into the safe. And I've never entered the code. I think I entered it like once when I first started working there, like the very first day. And since then, I was never in the safe, never had to go in there for any reason. It was probably like 7-8 years since I last went in there. And I was like, well, we're never going to know this code. Like, we'll never know it. And I remember I was sitting there and I was like, if only like he would have wrote it down. Like, if only he would have wrote it down. Like, come on, like, where is it written?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, out of nowhere, I was just like, oh, I know the code. And I entered the code and I opened the safe.
But did you know it previously?
No, I don't know. Like, I would never. It was the weirdest. I'm telling you, it was the weirdest thing. That was probably the only time that I was like, what the heck? Because, like, I've literally only ever opened it once. I had no reason to go in there. It was not my safe at all. It was. I went in there once, I believe, like, to get something from him, like, a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And, like, since then, I've never opened it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just crazy to think that. Like, it's just...
I don't know.
It's just nuts.
I know a few years ago, my mom called me and she
Not that it has to do with ghosts, but I'm just saying, yeah.
My mom called me and she was like, I had a dream that you got in a really bad car accident, that, like, your brakes failed and you just slammed into someone. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but could you please just go and, like, get your car checked? And I was like, yeah, okay. And, like, recently my car had been, like, when I was braking, my steering wheel would shake. It would, like, vibrate. And I thought it was really strange. And I was like, fine, I'll go get it checked. And I went and got it checked, like, that day. And it turns out that my brakes were, like, so worn down. He was like, remember I had to get all 4 of them replaced? Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is the weirdest thing. Like, was that just a weird coincidence? Or was it, like, some sort of weird outside force that was, like, saving my life?
Do you remember watching that show... Fact or Fiction?
No.
Okay, well, it was with this guy, and I think it was the guy who was on Star Trek. Who's the guy that's on Star Trek? Not the main bald guy. He's one of the. I think he's one of the captains, maybe. Captain Kirk. I'm not too sure. Anyways.
You mean William Shatner?
Yes. So he was on the show.
He was like the original Star Trek.
And is it William Shatner? I don't know. Maybe.
He's got that voice.
Yeah.
Like this.
No, I don't know. I don't know who it was. Anyways, he was on the show, and it was Fact or Fiction, and it was like, is it possible that blah, 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 blah. If you guys have ever watched the show, I'm sure you know. And it's like, they would throw weird things at you, like, this dog, you know, rescued this lady. And you're like, really? Like, how could a dog rescue a lady from drowning? And then they're like, is it fact or is it fiction? And then they're like, oh, it's a fact. And then they, like, reenact it and stuff. It's really cool. So... there's, like, a lot of stuff on there that, like, if you ever watch it, you're like, oh, really?
Would you rescue me from drowning, Saber?
Never. But, so, yeah, so there was another question I had on there as well, too, but I'll let you go to your topic, and maybe I'll think about it after.
I was going to bring up the topic of impulse shopping.
Okay.
Because I feel that it's something that Travis does.
Impulse shops?
Often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we went to the mall last night, and usually every time we go, it'll be like, it's like, it'll just be like, you have to buy something.
Yes.
Like, you can't leave without purchasing something.
Is the topic, do you like impulse shopping?
It is, I guess, why.
I love your topics. They're always just like, they're not really topics, they're just statements.
That is the topic.
Your topic is, I like pizza. But yes, impulse shopping. I think that impulse shopping is probably like
I was gonna say why.
one of my problems. To give you like an understanding, I was normally when I go shopping, like I love shopping. Like shopping is like really, really, really fun. But the problem is that like sometimes I'll try stuff on, sometimes I won't, and a lot of times I won't try it on until I get it home. Because like, so if I'm going to a store like Blue Notes, they always have like the same shirts, and I'm like, sure, I'll get those shirts. Like that sounds good. I'm sure they'll all fit. But
like $5 shirts.
They're like $5 shirts. But the problem is when you get them home, is like they look good once, but then when you wash them, they shrink like crazy. So
they're $5.
Because they're $5. So I bought like 20 of these shirts like last time I went, and I was like, yes, such a great deal. Like I'm so happy. And then I go to wash them, and now they're all shrunken. I'm like, well, Rach, here you have some shirts now.
I have so many shirts that I wear as pajamas. I can't even tell you. I could go a month without washing pajamas because I just always have old shirts.
Or a lot of the times it's like, I'll buy the shirts. I'm like, why did I buy this?
Yes.
Or I'll have like a tag still on it.
Yes,
and I'm like,
it'll have been in the closet for like a year with the tag on still.
And I'm like, I wish I had new clothes. You're like, you have new clothes in the bag. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like new shoes that he doesn't even know he has.
So keep in mind, these are not like, I'm not going out and buying like $400 pairs of shoes. They're like $20 shoes that I'm like, hey, if I'm going to buy one pair, I might as well buy two. Because like, you know, chances are I'm going to wear the one pair out, I'm going to throw them in the garbage, and then I'm going to have to go buy another pair. Well, might as well buy. So, you know, like if something's nice, I'll buy like 3 copies of it.
Yeah.
You know, like the black shirts that I have 5 of those. Yeah. You know, I'm like, yeah, you know.
But like sometimes he'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the mall and get my hair cut, and then like I'm at work or whatever it is, and then like I come home and there's just a bag of 40 shirts on the counter.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? You went for a haircut? Like, when did you have time?
How did just
to
happen?
get all of these things? Like,
Yeah.
you just like are there and you're like, you like zoom into a store and like within
I also-
10 seconds you've bought like 3 things.
I also do this thing where anytime we're going somewhere, like with friends and stuff, I'm always like 500 miles ahead of everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yes. If we go like on vacation, it'll be like 5 of us walking together and Travis is 40 steps ahead of us.
Yeah.
Like speed walking.
Yeah.
And we're like, bye Trav, hope you have a nice day.
And I'm like, how are they walking so slow?
I like just never with anyone. You're always just zooming ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like you guys lost me at the ROM like 50 times.
So many times we're just like, okay, see ya.
I'm like, where's
Enjoy your day, Trav.
Yeah. But it's the truth though. Like, I mean, for me, it's not that I like impulse shopping. It's not like I'm going to go and buy like, I need a hair straightener now. You know what I mean? It's like, if there's a bunch of shirts, I'm not going to spend time trying them on. Especially like 10 or 15 shirts. Like, I'm not going to waste the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I just like shopping. And that's why it's kind of good that we live far away from the mall. Because it's like, otherwise I'd probably be there all the time. Be like, yeah, I'll just get a new shirt. Like, sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to do laundry. Let's just buy a bunch of socks on Amazon.
Oh my gosh.
And like,
your drawer is 90% socks.
which is good because Rachel wears my socks too.
Just the small ones.
Yeah. And then I'm always like, so I have no socks. And I look at her feet. I'm like, why are you wearing my socks?
And I actually hate wearing socks. I don't like the feeling.
Yeah.
But in the winter, you don't really have a choice.
I hate wearing those socks that are like super woolly. And people are like, oh, I love these. I'm like, they're so comfy. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how people wear them. They like.
What do you mean woolly?
Like, you know those long like woolly socks? They're like gray. And they have like, you know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
They're made of wool?
Yeah.
Like they're scratchy?
Well, not wool, but you know what I mean. Like, they're just like keep you warm socks kind of thing. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Slippers?
I know. But what about impulse shopping for you?
I sometimes do, but I kind of like always have an idea in mind of like what I'm looking for. Like yesterday I bought a sweatshirt that has Mickey Mouse on it. And I knew when we were going and while you were getting your haircut, I was like, I'm going to this one place. I've bought something there before, and I'm going to see if they have anything I can wear at nighttime when we go to Disney, because it's going to be cool at night. It's going to be like, you know, in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I don't want to have to wear like a jacket. I'd rather wear something like, you know, Disney themed.
Uh-huh.
So I went in there with something in mind and I found it and I purchased it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm good. Like, I didn't feel the need to buy like, you know, just because I'm there, buy
Yeah.
like, you know, four other shirts or anything.
You're definitely better than I am.
But like, I mean, not to say that I don't ever just go somewhere and buy something because I see it and I want it, but I much less have an impulse to just like buy stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, my impulse would be food. Like, I impulse shop food for sure. Like,
Oh.
you'll come home and you'll be like, what are you even making for dinner? Where did this come from?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just wanted it.
Yeah, like
you know?
the taco salad.
Yeah, like the other day I just went to like the store and got ground turkey because I on my way home was like, I must have.
I'm the
But
same.
we already had pork chops at home.
See, the same thing is like if I'm super hungry and I go grocery shopping with Rachel,
Oh my god.
it's like probably the worst thing that could ever happen to
If my
to her
grocery
bank
bill
account.
is normally $100, when Travis comes, it's $200.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my God, cranberry cheesecake salad, let's get that. And you're like, no.
Four different kinds of cookies. We need them all.
Yeah, and then I'm like, then they get here and then I eat one. I'm like, ow, my stomach
You're like,
hurts.
I don't like these. These are not good.
Yeah, you're like, I just paid all that
I'm
money.
like, oh my god. You're like, I want apples this week. I buy apples. You don't even have one.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
I'm like, I'll have olives instead.
so I've actually been like, you're not allowed to come grocery shopping with
And I
me
won't
unless
go.
unless I get to like approve everything before you put it in the cart.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. When I go to the grocery store, I know what I'm getting. I have it planned out in my head, but it'll be like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, it's been such a long day at work. All I really want is this. And I'll just like go buy it. Like, I don't care if it's on sale or not.
Yeah.
And that's my impulse is food.
So my next topic was interesting because it was, well, it's like a topic, but there's also like a story behind it. And it was the other day I was talking on stream and I said, oh, like sometimes when I'm driving, I like honk at people and I use my my horn, like I was gonna call it a honker. I'm like, I use my honker all the time. I use my car horn like all the time because it's just like, whatever, like get going. Or like if people are driving stupid, I'm like,
You mean Road rage?
No, I don't have road rage. Anyways, so I said, like, how often do you guys honk your horn? Because, like, I feel like here I use it all the time.
Never.
And I know you never do.
Never.
I'm like, I always tell Rachel she should use it. And, like, one of the people in chat, and I'm sure the person does listen, they were like, yeah, it's hard to do that here because everybody has guns. And I was like, whoa. I was like,
Jeez.
I never thought about that. And I've actually, like, seen stuff like that before, like, you obviously see on, like, you know, YouTube and stuff like that, where people are, like, get crazy road rage and then they get, you know, bats and stuff. So, like, what are your, I guess the topic of guns is pretty, like, vague, but, like, what is your idea behind, like, that? Like,
oh, we're going political.
Not really, but I'm just saying
you
that,
want to
like,
know what my stance on gun control is?
well, no, let's not get that far. But, like, yeah, like, could you, like, I don't know if I could imagine, I guess I'll start. I don't know if I could imagine honking at somebody and, like, fearing that they may or may not have guns on. I think that, like, I know that, like, America's, like, I don't ever want to be that person that's like, you shouldn't have it or you should have it. Like, everybody's, like, has their own, you know, choices and do whatever you want. But for me, I think...
I disagree, but go on.
I know. I think that for me, I think it's just, like, that's just scary to think about, though. That, like, you just honking at somebody could get them to the point where they would, like, do something like that. I would be like, oh my God. Like, I don't even think I could think... Like, that wouldn't even cross my mind here in Canada. Although I do know that you're not, like... Some people do take pretty... Not kindly if you do honk at them. But, like, I've never had that occasion. You know, I've never had somebody, like, chase me down and try to, like, honk, you know, do anything stupid to me with me honking at them. And I do honk a lot, too.
So what's the question?
What is your... I guess what is... It's not really a question. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. What is your thing about it? What is your
What
idea?
do I think about people with guns?
I guess. We don't want to get this... because this would be like an entire podcast worth of talking if we do this. And we might have that in the future if you guys want to hear about it, but...
I'm glad that in Canada it is not legal for you to conceal carry or to have automatic weapons or anything like that.
I thought you
have a hunting license.
I think you can conceal carry in Canada.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you can't. Anyway, it's very, very rare for anyone to have a gun
in Canada.
Unless you are like a hunter.
It might be,
and it is a hunting rifle.
You might be thinking of it also like in the area that we're in too. Like,
well, I mean, even up in northern Canada, you might have a hunting rifle, but you don't just carry it around with you in your car.
No.
I think it's insanity. I think it's absolutely insane, the gun control laws in the United States.
Yeah.
If you look at the rate of... I'm not going to go too far into it because I know it's like a whole thing. But if you look at the rate of school shootings in Canada and then the rate of school shootings in the United States versus anywhere else in the world, really.
Yeah.
There's your answer right there.
Sure. I think that, you know, people always argue the fact that, like, Canada's a lot smaller than the United States.
It doesn't matter.
I know, but it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we obviously have issues, like, no matter...
where you are.
Like, certain people are always going to find a way. Like, you know, in Toronto, there's shootings and there's this and that, but, like, not to the extent that it is. Like, not to the every single day extent that it is.
The hard part is that...
It's, like, a rare thing. I remember when there was a shooting a couple of years ago in the Danforth in Toronto. It was, like, a night market or something. It was, like, national news, like, we haven't had that. You know, that's a crazy thing. Whereas that's like an almost weekly occurrence in the United States. The
thing is though, you got to understand there is a lot of stuff that happens in Windsor. It's just not in the news.
But it's not mass shootings.
No, it's not. But the other thing is that...
remember almost every time we go on vacation, there's been a mass shooting where we're about to go.
I know.
It's...
I think it's like... I mean, we don't want to get too far into it, but...
I'm not blaming, like, people. I'm blaming the government.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard. Stupid rules like how you can walk into a Walmart and purchase an automatic assault rifle.
Well, I think there is like some restrictions on like you're supposed to have. I think you have to. There's a wait period and stuff like that. But yeah.
No, there's not.
No,
you can just walk in and buy it. It doesn't matter. They don't do background checks. They do nothing. You just walk in and get it.
I don't think that's the case. No, I don't know.
They do not check your mental health. They do not check like you can just if you're 18 years old or whatever the age is. You can just walk in and get it.
Really?
Yes.
That's
terrible.
Crazy.
Sometimes there was the one documentary that Michael Moore did where if you signed there was this one place.
Oh God, Michael
I
Moore.
want to say it was in Texas, but I'm not positive. Where if you signed up for like a savings account at the bank, they would give you a gun.
Yeah, but I mean, when he was doing that was I mean, I don't know. I've seen some of his documentaries. They're okay, but I mean, yeah, I think it's hard, right? Because like a lot of people are. well, a lot of people are set on their ways where like now they're trying their hardest. I don't know if they're trying their hardest, but I know that they're trying to like, get rid of the ones that don't belong, don't belong to people that are supposed to like actually that have them registered and stuff, right? But the thing is, it's so far gone. It's like in Canada, if everyone's like, okay, everyone's able to, let's just like throw an example. Everyone's, allowed to have, a gallon of maple syrup in their house. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, oh, on second thought, you're not allowed to have any maple syrup anymore. We've restricted that because we're running out. And like, you know what I mean? And it's obviously it's the two different stories, but I'm saying that like you already have all these people that are set in their ways that have been doing it for, X amount of years, and all of a sudden they're pulling back. I'm not for her. I'm not gonna get too far into it.
I don't care because
I know
kills people.
I know.
Maple syrup doesn't kill
Rachel,
people.
I know. I was just come on. I was using an example, right? I'm just using an example. I'm just saying that like I didn't want to just say like guns again because obviously we're still on the topic, but I'm just saying that like I don't think I'm kind of obviously with you 100% on the fact, but I think that I'm just trying to like talk on the other side of it where some people
the other
are like,
side doesn't deserve to be defended.
Well, I know.
In my opinion.
I know. I think if you do it, I think that's why like Canada, in my opinion, is like the way to do it because obviously you have to go through a million steps, and like the difference is like in Canada, I remember when one of my friends was like getting his hunting license for the first time, the actual RCMP called me because I was on his reference list and said like this person, is going to be registering for a gun and their hunting license. Like, is this okay? And I was like, yeah, like that's fine. Like, they're really nice. And they're like, we need to have 7 examples of times, or it was like 7 or 8 examples of times when this person could have yelled, caused havoc, or like anything that you would have known. And I was like, I can't think of any. And they're like, okay. And then I had to go. It was like a half an hour conversation on the phone. And that's just to get your hunting license and your gun license. So, I think that like, yeah, they're definitely. It's definitely far out there. I don't know how long it would take for them to kind of revert back.
Well, they need to make changes to their laws.
Right.
Like in Australia, they had a mass shooting. Like I don't remember. It was a long time ago, 20 or 30 years ago probably. And they changed their laws, and they haven't had one since. Yeah. It's just like, Yeah. Change your laws.
I know. It's great. But I mean, obviously, we could talk about this for hours.
Then you don't have to be worried about honking at someone and getting shot in a freeway.
No. But then you still have the same situation of even though you change the laws, people are.
Yeah, but there's obviously we have that here. Yeah. And like that is an issue, but like you don't have to make it so easy for people. Right. To get them. True. It's gonna make a difference, even if you're still gonna you're always still gonna have issues. Every country has crime. But But like, get rid of the ones that are killing, hundreds of people a day.
No, exactly, yeah. Like, I don't think people should. I mean, I think assault rifles are a little bit far out, like way far out there.
If you say that you have it for self-defense, you do not need an automatic assault rifle.
No, not at all. I mean,
the only purpose of that is to kill lots of people very quickly. Yeah. Yeah. That's not
like I remember seeing like a few things where people were like, well, the thing is if you take away the ability to purchase guns from certain people, then you're leaving the people that still have guns in higher power, right? Because if you have a weapon...
Yeah, but no, because why do they have the gun if not for self-defense? So if their purpose of having the gun is to kill other people, then they shouldn't have a gun.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that then people that don't have guns are now like, oh my God, people around me do have guns. I need a gun to defend myself.
But why do you have to defend yourself against those people? What are they going to attack you?
That's the thing. That's the whole idea, right? Is that if you remove the ability for people to purchase guns, and then you have all these people that are like, hey, I'm malicious with guns.
But have a higher power. It should be no concealed carry. It should be like if you have a gun.
But your argument is not valid because it's no. Regardless of what happens, is your idea is that people with guns are bad and shouldn't have them.
I never said people with guns are bad.
No, sorry. Your idea is that like the majority of people with guns are like they shouldn't have them and blah blah blah. But the thing is that if somebody has a gun and they're using it, they may or may not.
You can't control other people's actions.
Exactly.
But you can control what kind of guns they're allowed to have.
I think in my case, if I was in an area where potentially chances are of somebody around me having a gun, and I don't know what they're gonna do with it, I for myself would like to have one with to protect myself. But that would be the case
The
of
problem with that is that like people are not responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
sure, like you would not, but like it all goes back to like there has to be extensive background checks,
No, yeah, yeah.
mental health, like all these things, and there should be rules about like where you're allowed to take that gun and that kind of stuff, and what kind of gun it's allowed to be.
Right. Yeah.
If the gun is only capable of shooting 5 bullets, that limits the amount of damage you can do to a crowd of people.
Right.
That's where the major issue lies, right?
There was like also
there's always going to be those crazy people who, when they're angry, are going to want to shoot someone.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about that.
There's also like this argument that people were saying like, if you don't want to restrict the guns, then talk to the ammunition company about pumping out so much ammunition a year.
Yeah, but the problem is that all of it is like it goes all the way to the top. Like all of it is the gun people fund the government, and the government pumps money back into the gun people. They support each other. So they're all like in this super horrible like cycle of you pat my back, I'll pat yours.
Right.
And so they don't, the money, it's all about money.
Yeah.
So they don't care about loss of human life because they're rich.
Right. Like I can't even think of any of our friends that have a gun except for one, and that's for hunting. Yeah. You know. So I mean, I think it's a whole different ballgame because we're seeing it on like
we have crime in our city.
No, but I think I was at the same time too is we're thinking of like we're in Canada, we're in an area where like crime's a lot less than others.
Yeah, but maybe because we don't have.
I know, but we can't.
So much guns.
It's
crime
like,
is less than others.
Right, but I think the thing is that it's hard for it's easy for us to judge, but it's not as easy to judge when you're in the position of some of the other people, right?
I don't know.
You know, if I grew up in like an area that was like riddled with crime every day, for sure I would want to protect myself. I wouldn't go, I'm just going to stand here. But
perhaps half of the reason it's riddled with crime is because weapons are so readily available.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that our opinion right now is just basically we're in Canada. We don't have a lot of crime. But it's hard. I know.
We have such strict laws.
Yes, I know. Just so I'm trying to be the other side of the story, or the other side of the
but like
of
you
the
have
wall
to
right
start
now.
somewhere.
Oh, I know. I'm just.
You know.
I didn't. This all started with honking at a driver.
No, this started with you saying guns.
Yeah, guns.
In
Question
cars,
mark.
Question mark.
No, I know it's sad, but you know, who knows?
You literally wrote on your paper, "Guns, good or bad?" Question mark. Bad.
True. Yeah, I agree.
Guns bad.
I agree. Bad. I don't think there would ever be any reason for me to want to have one here. You know, especially like I think the biggest thing that would scare me is having like kids and like having a gun in the house.
When that happens, it's very sad.
Yeah, but that's our opinion. Don't honk at your neighbors. I guess maybe I should stop honking. Yeah. Nah, I'll probably keep honking. Yeah. What's your next topic?
Jesus.
Hey, sometimes the conversations gets a little controversial, right?
Yeah.
You can talk about dinosaurs if you want.
No. All right, I asked this of you last night, and you said to save it for the podcast.
Right.
We were watching Dr. Pol.
Right.
The Incredible Dr. Pol.
Oh.
One of our favorite TV shows to watch.
You should explain it to the microphone.
Why?
Because we had to advertise Dr. Pol. Dr. Pol, if you're listening, I love you.
It's just like a National Geographic show. It's about a vet in Michigan.
Yeah.
And he's like a large and small animal vet, and he's from Denmark, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's just entertaining. He has an accent, and he treats all kinds of animals. Anyway, we watch it all the time.
The problem is that he just started filming when he was 70.
Yeah, he's very old.
Season 1 became...
So Travis loves Dr. Pol. Travis also loves David Attenborough, another narrator on, like, he does all like, Planet Earth and Blue Planet and like all those like, you know, really good nature documentaries. Yeah. He's in his like 90s. And I said, what would you be more... I said, when will you be more sad, when Dr. Pol passes away or when David Attenborough dies?
Well...
And he said, don't ask me. Ask me.
Yeah, I said ask on the podcast. And then I'll ask you two celebrities that I know that you like. Okay. So, for me, definitely David Attenborough, because he's like more... I think that like right now... So there was this thing actually what happened recently. So on so he's very like you know, wanting to get people to know about global warming and like all this stuff. And I think he has like a gigantic impact on that, cuz like nobody knew. I forget, there was something that he did. What was it like the oh my god, there was something that he did recently, and it like got like worldwide, and it was like he didn't mean to do it, and like it was like really really good. And I forget what the heck it was. It was something. Oh, single use plastics. So he coined the idea of like single use plastics is stupid. Like you shouldn't do this. Blah 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 blah. I'm sure it was like a thing before, but he was very like stop it, stop single use plastics kind of thing.
Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. And so and a lot of his documentaries he kept talking about it, and then I think one time he had like a I think it was in Europe somewhere, and it was like this it's like a big concert, and they had him at the beginning, and he was revealing like his next 7 documentaries that he's making. And before he started talking, he was like, "Oh, single-use plastics and stuff, blah 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 blah." And then like I think like a month and a half after that, all these like countries came together and were like, "Yeah, by X amount of years, we have to stop. Like we're just done with that. Like no more bags for groceries. Like we're just gonna stop it altogether." And I remember like in the mentioning about it, he was mentioned, so I was like, "Oh, like that's so cool." So it kind of sucks that he's like this old now, and like now people are starting to like hear him because he's like the reason why people like him on planet Earth, honestly, like why I started listening to him is because he has like a really very very calming voice when like he's doing it, and it just like sounds very nice. So I think I'm definitely gonna be sad when he passes away. And also he's like 95 this year.
What if you find out when we stop listening
Oh my
to
god,
this
don't
that
even
he's
say
died?
that. Don't even say
Will
that.
it be your fault?
No. But I've said it before, like I don't know how I'm gonna react when he does, because it's like I'm not really big on celebrities at all. Like celebrities in my mind, I'm like I don't really care. Like I don't see why they need to be bigger than we are. But like David Attenborough for sure is like my first celebrity that I'm like, oh my god, like please like let him live to be 9 million. I remember he went in for heart surgery like I think 3 years ago or something, and I was like, oh my god, he's not gonna make it, and then he did. But he had like a really good heart surgeon, so it's pretty good. So yeah, definitely David Attenborough. But Dr. Poole though, he's a good man as well too. But yeah, and for you, who's your 2 top? I don't even know. Like I don't even think you really care about actors or actresses that much.
Not really. I mean, I enjoy TV shows and like, but I don't know. I don't really like fangirl over many people. Sorry.
Maybe you should have had coffee instead of tea this morning.
No, I'm fine.
Anyway, so I don't know who I would choose. Let's see. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, because obviously everybody loves Tom Hanks.
You love Tom Hanks.
Or Tom Hanks, or who's the writer of Harry Potter?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
Tom Hanks.
Really?
Yeah.
But she made Harry Potter.
Yeah, but it's like, it's Harry Potter's made. It'll be there forever, and it's like, she's done a great contribution to my life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't feel like...
But you prefer Toy Story over Harry Potter?
I don't know. Tom Hanks is just like, he's just like one of those, like a classic,
Yeah.
He's just been in so many good things.
Yep. Just
and, like visually, you see him.
Just like Leonardo DiCaprio.
What did you say?
Leo DiNardo. Leo DiNardo.
DiCaprio.
This is last DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember in BoJack Horseman when it was like Leonardo DiCaprio or something? Remember I know how they make all the celebrities and the animals?
Right.
I don't remember what he was. It was something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember either. BoJack Horseman's pretty funny. I haven't watched like the recent seasons. I don't think I have. I think that's it for my topics.
Mhm.
Did you have one?
No, we did 3 each.
So it's like 3 each. Yeah, I think we're good. So next week on our segment, I want to do something cool where we have like because I think we're gonna try to film them because we're gonna be in Disney World next week. So we're gonna try filming the podcast there. I don't know how the audio is gonna be because we're gonna be doing it through like our phones, or actually maybe we can do it before we leave. That's right, we want to do it before we leave.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of nice to do it while we're there. We could do like a recap of the day and like, we could probably do it at night, like maybe on the balcony, or if we have, I don't know if we have one, we could do it at night, like in the hotel room, like, oh, yeah, it's been a long day, but like here's what we did so far, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I think it'd be more interesting than doing it.
I just don't know how it would sound like on the phone though, Because like, well, we'll see how it is. Anyways, yeah. So one cool idea that I had for next week was we could have like questions just like being like blasted at us. So I was thinking that what I'll do is we'll have the people that are at a certain tier ask.
What?
We'll have people at a certain tier ask us 20 questions each, and we'll just like powerhouse through them. We'll be like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no kind of thing. I think it'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna try next time. But this was episode 5. Pretty good. I mean, a little controversial at one point, but it's okay. It was good. That's kind of. Rachel's like.
I just marvel at your need to recap what we just talked about.
What?
Well, everyone, that was what we talked about today. I suppose it could be a little bit.
One cool thing that I was thinking about doing at the very end of the video was we call it a Saber segment where we ask Saber some questions and we see what Saber has to say about certain things. So today we're going to ask Saber some questions. This is a new thing that we're going to start doing because Saber really wants to talk. And for those of you who are out there who don't make voices like your dog, for your dogs, I'm going to probably guess that you're lying because everybody makes voices for your dogs, especially us. We always make voices for Saber. It's very weird. When I remember the first day that I started talking as Saber, Rachel was like, "Are you okay?" I was like in the other room and I was like having a conversation. She's like, "Who are you talking to on the phone?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just talking to Saber."
No, I was showering and I came out and I heard you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I heard you going, Travis, do you love me?
Yeah.
And then you're like, yes, Saber, I do love you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Okay.
Travis, will you marry me?
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't. Or no, it's not allowed. And then okay.
Okay.
And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. And since then, that has coined the Travis talking as Saber, but also Rachel.
She's struggling. She's not like.
But also Rachel.
Holding
So
her.
Saber, we're gonna ask you a few questions real quick. I hope you don't mind. First, what kind of questions should we ask Saber? Saber, how is it being a dog in a world?
What?
In the world. How's it being a dog in the world? Well, Travis, it's a good day. Good day. I think it's very nice to be on a podcast for the first time in 5 episodes, which is odd, even though I'm only at the end. But how is it being a dog in the world today? It's good. I like it. Lots of treats, lots of biscuits, and the ability to poop anywhere I want on the floor. I probably have to agree with that, Saber.
Saber, how do you feel about the fact that we're leaving on next Saturday?
What? I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time, please.
We're going on vacation and you're not coming next Saturday?
What? Saber's like, just for the first time hearing that we're leaving to go to Florida. But I don't think you're leaving. I had no idea.
Why?
But yeah.
Why would you do that to me?
Poor Saber.
Why don't you love me?
Why don't you love me? But that's the Saber segment for today. If you guys have any questions for Saber, make sure that you ask them at the very end of the podcast. This is our weird episode at the very end where we ask Saber random questions.
Probably just the cringiest thing anyone's
Yeah,
ever
it's very
listened to.
cringy. We might actually take it out. We'll see. But anyways, guys, we'll see you guys in episode 6 of the podcast, which is pretty cool. And hopefully we can eventually get the number. What did I say? How many people listen? 40. We get that number 40 to number 50. It'd be pretty cool. I like number 50. And remember, double Christmas. Tell all your friends and family so that it becomes a thing, and then talk to your government and do that as well too. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. We need to get music.
Da, da, da.